Well, this is it, guys. The only helmet you'll ever need to buy. Welcome to the prop shop, where we check the latest and greatest props out there. On this week's prop shop, we check out the AutoKing Iron Man Mark V. Let's go take a look. Well, this is it, guys. The last helmet you'll ever need. Of course, this is the AutoKing Iron Man mask with a mechanized opening. Now before we proceed, I must warn you, this is not an actual Hasbro item, Disney item, or a Marvel item. It's a company in Asia called AutoKing that decided to take on the challenge of making the coolest Iron Man helmet possible. Now something like this will set you back approximately $600, which is very hefty for a helmet. But also, once again, as I mentioned, this will be the only helmet that you will ever need if you ever want to buy one. To make things a bit sweeter, this company tossed in a helmet stand for me as well, just to sweeten the deal. For starters, you will need 4 AA batteries to power this thing. And of course, it can be done by removing the neck guard and pulling the battery pouch out from the back. It's actually very amazingly well done. The neck guard is magnetic. All you do is pinch it and squeeze to pull it out of its slot. Once you do have your battery in, your power button's here under the chin. When you turn it on, the motors wind up. And of course, you have your first function, which is the actual buttons on the helmet. You touch the right side, it opens in the mechanized way. And you touch it one more time, and it will close. If you want the full helmet to open, you can hit the left side, and the whole shield comes up. Hit it one more time to close. But beyond just opening from the side, it can be opened by a remote as well. But each time you do want to change the function from the helmet to the remote, you do have to turn the machine back off again. Start it up, turn it back on, let the motor do its thing, turn your remote on, give it time to sync, and then give it a try. A's to open, and A's to close. Of course, you got your B button here for your secondary option of opening, and your secondary option of closing with the mechanized. You got your C here, which I believe changes the light from the LED. And of course you got your D, which is turn it off and on. And then you have your E, which I believe is to shut it down. Actually, I don't know what the E does. I'll figure it out later. But besides your remote and your side buttons, there's also a third way to power this helmet, which of course brings in everybody's favorite person, Jarvis. Jarvis, open the helmet. Open the helmet. Jarvis, open the mask. Jarvis is really picky on the type of wording you use, so make sure to always say mask instead of helmet. Jarvis, Dakai Taokui. I must have gotten the Chinese version, but of course you can speak Mandarin to it and it works just as well. Yeah, for some reason I can't figure it out, but Jarvis actually works better in Mandarin, and my Mandarin is terrible. But just from the way it opens, you can definitely tell it's going to be one of the showstoppers in any Comic-Con you go to. But let's get into some of the details. The nice bright metal look is really well done. You can see that the silver part is brushed in, and it gives it that cool raw metal kind of feeling. But surprisingly, this whole helmet is actually made of plastic. There's no metal components here, which is surprising. For a mask this expensive, I would expect just to see a little bit of metal in there. But what's really expensive here is, of course, the mechanized parts that are in there, which make me wonder how fragile it is. But I've had this thing for a while now, and so far so good. Now for most adults out there, you'll probably have to take off the neck guard before you can fit this helmet on. And even so, once you do get it on, it's still extremely tight. So I don't imagine this is for any fat geeks out there. And I'm one of the fattest out there. It's especially snug around the ears, and it only gets tighter once you put the neck guard back on. But I guess if you aren't walking around all day with it, it is okay. And the mask does open up a lot so you can take a breather. But especially for the side of the head, you really get uncomfortable when you really start to carry this thing for a long time. And then once you do get it back closed, the LEDs actually obstruct your vision, so it makes things a lot harder to use. Jarvis, start combat mode. And things only get worse when you go with the red LEDs. You're virtually blind at this point. But back to opening it up. That's the only one trick that you really want to show off at your parties anyways. Realistically, this is definitely still one of the coolest helmets out there, even though I wish there was a bit more metal to it. But as I mentioned, price is going to be a big deterrent, so sometimes you really gotta bargain to get some extra stuff on top. Which brings us to see what special little gift my retailer got for me. Is of course the Iron Man stand. This isn't just any regular stand, it's actually really well done. It's got a nice Iron Man logo to it, as well as a little bit of tech drawings. It's literally just a glass tube with a plastic stand, and then I believe you just hit it on. Get your little USB powered here. Got my Thor power. Oh, cool, it strobes. Now that's one of the coolest things out there. Now let's see, can I stop it from strobing? Oh, it comes with a remote. That's stupid of me. Any of these remotes is all the standard CR2032. Got myself in, change the mode, stop the strobing, change to blue, green, red, and so on. Change the brightness. Pretty cool, eh? Now let's see how these things match together. For any fans out there with the cash to spend, this is definitely by far the coolest helmet that you will ever see in your lifetime. Now if you excuse me, I gotta take this bad boy out for a spin.